What is going on, YouTube? Andrew Miller from Hook'emHeadlines.com, the Hook'em Horn Show, coming back at y'all today with a quick breakdown of Texas's top remaining recruits, priority flip targets, uncommitted recruits in the 2024 class, and then a little transfer portal update here at the end of the video. But I want to take a look at where Texas stands with some of its top targets remaining on the recruiting trail in the 2024 class, as we're 10 days out from the first day of the early signing period, which is on December 20th. Texas currently sitting at 20 committed recruits in the 2024 class right now. They rank 10th in the nation and 5th in the SEC in the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings, and in the top 10 as well in the On3 industry rankings. So Texas definitely within grasp of another top 5 ranked class in the nation. If they can close out this cycle on high notes before signing day in a couple of weeks, they should be able to lock in their third straight top 5 ranked class nationally. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to talk about first some of the flip targets that Texas could land before signing day, and then talk about some of the uncommitted recruits, and then where things stand for Texas with a handful of portal players that are visiting here in the next week or so. So let's go ahead and get started here. I posted an article on the site talking about a prediction of every flip that the Longhorns can pull off before signing day in the 2024 class. I'll link that in the description below as always if you want to get a little bit more detail there. But to start off the list, I want to talk about 4-star Mississippi State defensive line commit and blue chipper out of Holmes County Central High School in Lexington, Mississippi, Terrence Hibbler. Hibbler is one of the 2 remaining flip targets for Texas along the defensive line. Maybe 3, depending on how much they keep their foot on the gas with 3-star Auburn commit Dimitri Nicholas. But their 2 top ones among flip targets along the defensive line right now are Hibbler and 3-star Baylor commit, also from Mississippi, Alex Foster. Hibbler, the higher rated of the 2, and I think the higher priority target among flip targets along the defensive line for Bo Davis and the Longhorns. Davis went in-home on a visit with Hibbler earlier this week, kind of laid out the plan for his development along the defensive line, really showing how much Texas wants him, how much he's prioritized. Texas has had Hibbler on campus twice before this year. He was on campus for an unofficial visit early in the offseason, and then made an official visit to Texas in late June. So he's familiar with Austin. There's a long-standing relationship between him and Bo Davis. Davis pretty well connected in the Southeast, so recruiting blue chip defensive linemen out of Mississippi, nothing new for him. And, really for Bo Davis, his track record speaks for itself in the last few years, developing talent along the defensive line for Texas. Just had a guy winning the Outland Trophy as the best interior lineman in the nation with T'Vondre Sweat getting the honors on Friday night. You also had Byron Murphy, Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. T'Vondre Sweat was Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Texas also funneled out, 2 NFL draft picks along the defensive line in the 2023 draft, likely another first-round pick or 2 this coming draft with Sweat and Murphy. Plenty of credibility, I think, for Davis to tout in this recruitment. Alabama and Auburn also still involved here. I think Texas, if Hibbler does decide to back off his commitment to Mississippi State, Texas probably in the strongest spot, but Alabama also pushing pretty hard here late. I do want to note that Hibbler was in Starkville this weekend. It looked like for a visit to Mississippi State. Mississippi State trying to keep him in the class after they hired Jeff Levy, former Oklahoma offensive coordinator, to be their next head coach. And then Levy just recently hired former Alabama special teams coordinator and outside linebackers coach Coleman Hutzler to be his defensive coordinator. So, Hutzler was someone that had familiarity, I think, with Hibbler because Hutzler was a guy on staff at Alabama. Alabama's been pushing for him lately, so makes sense that Mississippi State could probably make a late run to hang on to his commitment. This is going to be an interesting one to watch down the stretch. Texas wants another defensive lineman from the high school ranks in this recruiting class. They're currently sitting at 3. You got 2 blue chips, Alex January from Duncanville and DeAndre Robinson from Jones High School in Orlando, Florida, and a 3-star Melvin Hills out of Lafayette Christian Academy in Louisiana. So, Texas looking to finish out the defensive line recruiting class on a high note. Hibbler and Foster, again, the 2 guys to watch there. Second on the list is also Texas's highest priority among flip targets in this class. There's no doubt about it. 5-star McKinney safety in Florida commit, Xavier Filsaime. Filsaime, a hot name on the recruiting trail right now. Texas has plenty of momentum right now. They've been making a ton of progress, really chipping away at his commitment to Florida here in the last couple of months. Texas got in on this recruitment pretty late, offered him in early October, but they've made up a ton of ground since then. Phil Smee visited the Cotton Bowl in Dallas for the Red River rivalry game on October 7th against Oklahoma. Also made a midweek unofficial visit to Texas a couple of weeks ago. Steve Sarkisian, Blake Gideon made an in-home visit with Phil Smee. I believe that was December 7th, so a few days ago now. And he's set to make a return trip to Texas for an official visit from December 15th to 17th. So Texas looking to get him on campus for the, probably the final in-person visit he takes before signing day. Texas is really, really pushing the envelope right now. I think that you'd have to consider Texas probably the betting odds favorite right now to land Phil Smee. Florida right now, their recruiting class is fracturing. They've lost multiple blue chip commitments in the last couple of months. Some questions regarding the direction of the program, stability of the coaching staff under Billy Napier after they failed to reach postseason eligibility this fall, finishing up with 5 wins during the regular season. In Texas, they've already flipped one blue chip defensive back from Florida already this fall. The Marrero John Ehret 4-star cornerback, Wardell Mack, flipped him last month. And so, Texas, again, I think they're looking pretty good right now. Phil Smee is a guy that I believe is supposed to be an early enrollee during the spring, so should get a little bit more intel here in the coming days if Texas will be able to flip him. He is their top safety priority in the 2024 class, hands down. Him and Kobe Black are the two guys they really want in this class to, really put together an elite group of defensive backs in this class. So let's go ahead and move on to the next name up on the list here. It's 3-star Utah commit and Magnolia athlete Hunter Andrews. One of the most recent Texas offers on the recruiting trail. Texas offered Andrews on December 6th. He's someone that they offered as a linebacker or a tight end. Jeff Banks involved in this recruitment. I believe that Texas would probably look at him at tight end first, but again, more recruiting him as a pure athlete. Texas so far has one tight end committed in the 2024 class. It's 3-star Lingham Creek product Jordan Washington, someone that's viewed as more of like a long-term developmental receiving tight end. So Texas looking to take another tight end in this class, regardless if it's from high school ranks or the portal. And they need to add numbers there with Jatavian Sanders expected to head to the NFL draft next spring. They can also play Andrews at linebacker. He's got the frame, he's got the size, he's got the football IQ. While he does play running back right now at Magnolia High School, he's got that 6'2", about 215, 220 pound frame. Again, an intriguing combination skill set. Could play on either side of the ball or either position. He's got some versatility there. So, Texas doesn't have any linebackers in this class. So, they missed on Ty Anthony Smith, 4-star A&M commit, and then Justin Williams, Georgia commit, number 1 linebacker recruit in the nation in the 24 class. And so, if they take Andrews, while they do like the linebackers they have right now, they are losing one probably to the NFL draft next spring, Jalen Ford. He's expected to depart, and so Andrews could be someone that they take is kind of a versatile piece, can fill where the numbers are needed in the linebacker room. Right now, it's been reported that Texas is working on an official visit date with him. It'll be interesting to see, if Texas really wants to push here, there will probably be an official visit date reported here in the next few days. I would assume that would be locked in for next weekend, same weekend that Phil Smee is taking his official visit to Austin. At the moment right now, Andrews is kind of the guy if Texas is going to take another tight end or a linebacker in this class. He would be it. Again, these guys that Utah evaluates earlier really tend to be really solid guys, really solid talents. These 3-star, low 4-star recruits Utah tends to maximize. So definitely a name to watch moving forward again, and an offer that Texas has already extended. I want to talk about a few uncommitted recruits that Texas is still after in the 2024 class before signing day. The biggest one being obviously 5-star Waco Connolly cornerback Kobe Black. He's got a commitment date set for December 13th, so 3 days from now. Texas made his top 5. The other 2 schools that have really been in the mix lately are Oklahoma State and Texas A&M, but Texas has a sizable lead here. I don't see that giving way anytime soon. There's been some speculation that even Kobe Black could commit to Texas, and then his brother Corey Black, the Oklahoma State cornerback, could be someone to watch potentially entering the transfer portal. I know there's been speculation about them wanting to play together at the collegiate level for a year or two. Corey Black does have eligibility remaining after this season. I think Corey Black being at Oklahoma State is obviously a big reason why Kobe Black has been such a frequent visitor in Stillwater. He's visited multiple games, Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater this fall. And so, Texas still definitely looks like the favorite there. Kobe Black, their biggest priority remaining cornerback in the 24 class. And then one other name among uncommitted recruits that I wanted to mention is four-star Calabasas athlete out of California, Aaron Butler, a recent Colorado decommit. Texas hasn't offered Butler yet, but there was a report today from 24/7 Sports saying that after he backed off his commitment to Colorado, I believe that was yesterday, that Butler has 3 schools involved in his recruitment before signing day now. That's Washington, Texas, and Arizona. I believe it was Chris Jackson had an in-home visit with him earlier this week. So, Texas kind of evaluating their options right now for another wide receiver take in the 24 class. Texas looking to take potentially multiple wide receivers out of the portal this offseason, or potentially pick up another guy from the high school ranks. Butler's a speedy guy, top 100 ranked athlete, I believe, in the nation in the 24/7 Sports Composite and all-3 industry ranking. And he's a good. I believe he would be a really good fit in Sark's offense. Versatile wide receiver, dangerous in space, speedy guy, elusive with the ball in his hand. It can be a threat on special teams as well in the return game. I think if Texas ends up extending an offer here, then that recruitment becomes pretty real for Texas, that they could take him in the 24 class. Washington, it's a similar situation right now where they're kind of evaluating numbers and seeing where Butler could fit in their class, depending on which departures they have in their loaded receiving corps for the NFL draft next spring. Arizona is the one school right now that's pretty intriguing, just from the standpoint that they have the numbers and that Butler can come in and make an immediate impact there. Their offensive coordinator, Brendan Carroll, he's got a pretty long-standing relationship with him. Jed Fish been doing some good things in Arizona with that offense as well, leading a pretty massive turnaround with that program the last couple of years. And so, again, Washington, Arizona, Texas in the mix there, but Aaron Butler, a name to watch down the stretch. That leads me to my next point here among recruiting notes and news for Texas. Some guy that's committed to Texas right now, but is being recruited by other big-time powers around the college football landscape, is 4-star Dangerfield athlete commit Aaron Hampton. Did a piece at the site yesterday talking about how Alabama's been making a late run at Hampton. Nick Saban visited Dangerfield High School, I believe that was last week, to see Hampton. There's some serious buzz right now with Alabama and Hampton. Hampton committed to Texas over Alabama, actually recommitted to Texas during the summer, and Alabama's kind of stayed in pursuit of him throughout the fall. They like what he brings to the table. Again, right now, Hampton is Texas's only pure athlete committed in the 24 class, could play wide receiver or defensive back, but I think the threat of Alabama in that recruitment's real. They've been big in East Texas on the recruiting trail in the last few cycles. So Nick Saban reaching into East Texas and taking one of these kids would be nothing new. And then I want to talk about to round out the video here, I want to talk about some of Texas's big portal targets and where they stand. With the portal window opening earlier this week, I did a video, I believe that was yesterday, with Tarek, talking about some of Texas's top targets, positions of need in the portal. Texas has scheduled visits with a handful of portal recruits, including one of which I think is either on campus right now or just wrapped up a visit. And so I'll start there. First visitor that Texas had this weekend is UTSA redshirt sophomore edge rusher, first team All AAC performer, Trey Moore. Moore, guy from Texas that it seems like it's been a lifelong dream of his to be a Longhorn, and he's someone extremely tremendous, efficient edge rusher at UTSA the last 2 seasons, nearly 24 sacks, around 35 tackles for loss. Third highest graded pass rusher in the AAC, and second among edge rushers in quarterback pressures this season. So, more someone that Texas looking at to add depth to the edge position, add an impact player, and really upgrade the pass rush. There's been multiple crystal balls entered for more projecting his commitment to Texas. I believe he's also considering LSU and Alabama, also Ohio State. The Ohio State visit is a possibility in the coming days, but I do know that he arrived on campus, I believe it was Friday or Saturday. That was confirmed from Arrival's reports earlier today. So he's definitely one to watch among the early portal priorities for Texas. Again, Pete Kwiatkowski looking to upgrade at the edge position, even though I think Texas is pretty good there right now. Got Colin Simmons committed, elite 5-star guy in the 24 class, but Texas really looking to get that pass rush in peak shape heading into the SEC in 2024. It's been something that's been a high priority for the staff the last few years. Another portal target that's been high on Texas's radar in the last week is Clemson safety transfer and junior Andrew Makuba. someone that's from the Austin area, LBJ High School in Austin. He's got a lot of relationships with guys on this Texas staff, most notably Jamal Fenner, Texas Director of High School Relations, was Makuba's head coach at Austin LBJ High School. Jeff Banks, also a guy, I've mentioned this before in previous videos, recruited Makuba while he was at Alabama as their special teams coordinator. So there's another big relationship. But Makuba, another guy that has multiple crystal balls entered, projecting his commitment to Texas. He's supposed to be visiting Texas next weekend. That's when he's scheduled to take his official visit. 4 other schools that he is scheduled to visit in the next week are Oregon, Ole Miss, USC, and I believe Oklahoma. And so, Texas, I think, considered the favorite to get Makuba. Someone they're looking at is, either a safety or I've heard about nickelback, with Texas expected to lose Jahdae Bear. And so, but Makuba right now ranked as the number 1 safety portal guy by the 24/7 Sports composite rankings. And, I think probably the best immediate impact safety that Texas will see in the portal this month. But still early on, we'll see there. But Makuba definitely a high priority for Texas, without a doubt. And that's about it. I guess the last portal guy I would mention for, visit news is Juice Wells. It was reported by On3 earlier this week that he was supposed to be taking a visit to Texas this weekend. That visit was, I believe that visit was either canceled or rescheduled. It was reported that he's possibly visiting Texas next weekend, but he did visit Ole Miss this weekend. Lane Kiffin and the Rebels are making him a top priority out of the portal this offseason. So it sounds like Ole Miss is the program with the most buzz right now in that portal recruitment. But still something we're keeping an eye on. Again, Texas prioritizing wide receivers in the portal entering the offseason. A few guys to watch there. We mentioned some in the last video, but Matthew Golden, someone who announced that he intends to enter the portal in this cycle, someone that definitely Texas will show interest in, I do believe, when he actually officially enters the portal. And then you also got Deion Burks, Purdue's leading receiver from this season, redshirt sophomore, guy that's really elusive out of the slot. Jaron Bradley as well. Texas Tech boundary receiver transfer. Texas does need to add bodies at boundary receiver since you had Isaiah Nayor, Casey Kane into the portal, and probably losing starting boundary receiver Adonai Mitchell to the NFL draft next spring. So they'll need to reload there. Another one that could be potentially worth watching is Will Shepard, Vanderbilt wide receiver transfer. I believe they're a leading receiver from this season. I think someone that Texas will consider maybe as a potential backup option in case other things don't work out with some of their top portal priorities at wideout. But again, those are some names to watch at wideout and just in the portal in general. I think right now, Trey Moore and Andrew Makuba, the 2 guys that have visits scheduled to Texas, the 2 names to watch, because Texas, their staff is being very patient right now in the portal, taking their time, making sure that guys are not only the right culture fit, but really are going to upgrade the roster. They're not in a spot where they need to add a ton of depth, add a ton of bodies to fill out the roster. They're really looking for impact guys that are going to really take this team to the next level and really elevate the culture in the locker room moving into the SEC next year. So just keep that in mind. Texas staff busy on the road right now on the recruiting trail, and then also preparing for the college football playoff semifinal game at the All-State Sugar Bowl on New Year's Day against Washington. So anyway, for Andrew Miller, Hook'emHeadlines.com, Hook 'em Horn Show. That's pretty much it. Hook 'em.